Y'all already know what this is. First things first. God, did this. Don't get mad with us. I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. And we got the one man and the only man that's going to take you into the Heartbreak Hotel. That's the Heartbreak Prince himself. Look, man, look, y'all know what time it is. It is night time. And you know we got to talk about that AEW Dynamite because, again, it's been fire. Collision was fire. And now let's go ahead and just dive into this new episode
We
of
got it right this
AEW.
week.
Yeah, we did. Let's dive right into this episode of that AEW Dynamite. Man, I'm not even gonna lie, man. I mean, honestly, like we talk about every time when it comes to AEW Dynamite, there's never a time when there is not a smile that is constantly on my face, man. Because look, honestly, they kicked this show off with a banger, man. They had Adam Page, okay, Hangman Adam Page, with a banger of a starting match going up against Josh Alexander. Now, honestly, man, look, this was, I mean, you want to talk about 20 minutes of a great match right here. Nothing wasted. Adam Page just I mean, going crazy. But the real interesting thing that happened after Adam Page, gets that dub, he gets on the mic, starts talking, starts talking a little bit about the Don Callis fame, starts talking a little bit about Kyle Fletcher. Okay. And of course, you talk about him. Now here he appears. And I ain't talking Joe Hendry. This right here was good. Man, look, it's to the point where I was about to call this man Kyle Joe Hendry. But it's to the point where this man Kyle Fletcher literally, I mean, at this point, calls out Adam Page and wants his title shot for the AEW champion. Now, what I like about Adam Hangman Page, okay, he is one of these guys right here that this one of these champions that's kind of just, this is really a babyface kind of thing right now. He's saying, I want you to earn it. I want you to give me your all. I was like, you know what, Adam? I respect this, man. You want everybody at your best. You want everybody at their best. I said, damn, who is this? Goku? I mean, at this point, I love what Adam Page doing for real. This is good stuff. And of course, Don Callis doing Don Callis things, coming out there with the aura that he has, the ambiance of the villain that he is, Don Callis. But I love every single thing about this. I love what they're doing, Kyle Fletcher. This kind of really ties in what we was talking about last week. Heartbreak Prince, you touched on it before. It's looking like they're kind of pushing Kyle Fletcher to be that next guy, to be that next, not even the up and comer, but to be that next pillar for AEW. And it's looking good, man. I love everything about this. Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Wow. So Adam Hangman Page, I've been saying it for a minute now. Adam Hangman Page has just been on fire. And the way he is carrying the AEW brand and the AEW title right now is like legit top tier. It's a feeling of like this is a wrestling champion. And you could just see it because you know, or you can tell it because like the journey that he went through to get to where he is now. And just each and every week, it's like just a treat to see Adam Hangman Page, the way he carries himself, the way he constantly makes each and every last one of his opponents have to earn it. So it makes the whole title match itself feel that much more important because that the opponent had to scrawl, scrawl.
Scroll, that's
Whoa,
a new one right
pause.
there.
That's what I get. had to crawl, scratch, claw, all of that stuff to get to where they are to face him because that's what he went through. You talk about what Moxley put him through and what it made him. It's just amazing right now just to see like all of that come full picture when it comes to Adam Hangman Page. And I'm just loving his AEW title reign right now. And then we talk about Kyle Fletcher, and we said that last week when we talked about Kyle Fletcher as far as him being this new breed of like up and coming wrestler, if you want to say it that way, that's next in line and get ready to start carrying the AEW just company like on his back or to the next generation or however you want to say it. I'm loving it. However, I feel like it's just a little too soon. I feel like it's a little too soon because he's going after Adam Hangman Page right now, and Adam Hangman Page is, like I said, is on fire. So he's hot right now, and I don't know if Kyle Fletcher by his lonesome, because that was one of the things they set up and talked about in this promo was that Kyle Fletcher needed to do this by himself. Don't know if he's ready to do that. Not with the fire and the wind that's at the back of Adam Hangman Page's sails. I don't know if it's that time yet. However, I do expect that it will deliver a banger of a match, and I do think that it will be the platform that puts Kyle Fletcher, on that next tier, on that next pillar. And I'm excited for him because I do think there is something there when it comes to Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah, man. He's definitely got a bright future ahead of him. And yeah, man, I love his promo work, man. I ain't gonna lie, the way he came out, I said, man, that boy clean right there.
Yeah.
That is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He looked like a champion. He looked like a champion.
Yeah, man. I was like, something about this man. The aura went up by 10.
Okay. It's over 9,000.
But let's go ahead and talk about that next segment, man. I mean, come on. Come on, man. Come on. Do I have to say anything more than this? The picture says enough. Man, look, MJF, okay, if y'all didn't see Collision, came from Collision, beat the hell out of Mark Briscoe, okay? He talked about how this man, MJF, literally came the day after his honeymoon and just was like, no, I have a reason to be here. He talked about how his wife, not even future wife, brand new wife, said to Matt, she said, are you serious? He said, look, he said, what, are you dumb? I said, yo, come on. He said, I'm married to the game. I said, Jesus, come on. But what I loved about it, man, he just talked about how much he hates Mark Briscoe and how much he really wants to make his life a living hell. This side quest for MJF. Because again, I still feel like people will still forget that this man has that contract. I like the side quest. I love, first of all, this Mark and MJF story. Oh, they've been telling this probably since before I'm sorry, not even Double or Nothing. We're talking about around Double or Nothing all the way to All In and till now. I love the story they telling with this. I've been saying this about Mark Briscoe. I love the work he's been doing. I can't wait to see what they do at All Out because this is going to set up something great and amazing. But again, MJF telling the story as always, being great. Cutting that promo. It's real dedication if you're going to leave your wife the day after the honeymoon. It ain't like you just left after the service of honeymoon, so you had to be on a different type of time. If you that focused, that you get married, you on your honeymoon, you ain't even supposed to be thinking about nothing else. You and your wife, just you and your significant other. Nah, but Mark Briscoe was just burning in your brain. You couldn't even focus. I get it. And Mark, honestly, talk about living rent-free in MJF's head. You gotta love it. Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
I don't know if I can even add much more to it. I think you hit it on all cylinders. MJF is amazing. We already have established that he's just good. Anytime you see him cutting a promo, it's going to be good. That Married to the Game is insane. I just MJF, even in his own personal life, on his what should be one of the best and happiest days of his life, he is still just Maxwell Jacob Friedman to me, and it's always a game within a game for him. And I love what they have going on between MJF and Mark Briscoe. This feud has just been really good. It hits below the belt in many ways between these two. But I know that the match itself, when they actually get in the ring with each other, will deliver. Mark Briscoe has been on a tear these last few weeks in AEW. And so it's going to be exciting to see these two lock horns. MJF, him still having that contract, even had Adam Hangman Page, talked about him in his promo earlier, in the night, just about how he's still pissed that MJF was able to weasel his way into getting a match for the championship without actually having to fight, crawl, scratch, and claw for it. Just weaseled his way into it. But I just, it's perfect for the MJF character, and they continuously do it right and tell great stories with MJF. And this is just one of those things where he has a feud going with Adam Hangman Page, but he's also still so pissed at Mark Briscoe that he can't let it go, not even on his wedding day. And it's just MJF doing MJF things.
Yeah, man. I loved it, man. I said, man, it wouldn't be like MJF. He's taking his actual personal life and making wrestling, just fusing both. And sometimes you can't tell the difference with that, man. Man, it's scary, scary things.
Yeah, 100.
Let's talk about this next segment, man. Come on, man. This
the best tag team in history.
Come on, man. Look, this was, and it's so funny. We literally had said, I don't know what's next for the Bucks. We ain't seen the Bucks in a couple of weeks. We want to see more for this story just progress. And man, come on, they got the Bucks in the Jobbers catering section, man. Okay, like we talk about the greatest jobbers of all time. That's these guys right here, man. But I mean, this was completely so good, man. Like, I loved everything about this segment. Of course, I don't know why I can't get my man's name. I'm thinking about we just seen him on there. A great high school friend of theirs. Of course, we know. Oh my goodness, Brandon Cutler. I'm sorry, Brandon Cutler. So he was there, and immediately it was like, oh man, Brandon, look, it's so good to see him, man. Look, somebody. He's like, man, come on, I can't. Shut up, Bucks. Walks off. Walks away. I said, man, and of course, how Matt is. Is everybody in here just so fickle? But the crazy thing is, John Moxley pops up. Now, this was interesting. The funny thing is, everybody else just ran off at I said, man, come on, I get it. It's John Moxley. All right, that man's got dark aura, so I get why y'all ran off. Makes sense, okay. But this was good, man. Look, John Moxley telling the Bucks, you know who you are? You're Nick Jackson. You're Matt Jackson. You're the Young Bucks. I said, what the hell are you doing, John? You trying to recruit? I don't know, man. This is interesting, but I loved everything about this, man. Look, I just love to see the Bucks doing anything with this story right now, and especially anything with this journey of them trying to get out of this jobber section. Keep it going. I love this. But it doesn't seem like they're really with the Don Callis family. So that's interesting. I thought at first, I was like, okay, maybe they're kind of going in that direction. Maybe the Young Bucks are kind of going to start working more with the Don Callis family. But that's not really the case. It's not like they joined them. This is like, yeah, we just did a couple of jobs with them. Makes sense since the jobbers. But at this point, it seems like they're still trying to find some kind of common ground to just start to build brick by brick. Yeah, but they can't get a single brick to stay to get that house built. But I mean, hey, look, this is good, man. This is good. And then, of course, we're going to get into it later. Their entrance, hilarious. We're going to get into that. But let's talk about this segment. Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
I look forward to AEW each and every week just to see what the Bucks are going to do. Like, what's going to happen with them? It's one of the things I just look forward to in the show. I'm just like, at some point, some type of preposterous thing is going to happen with the Bucks. And I don't know if you check out their Being the Elite every now and again, but I came across it and they were in the airport and they were like, everyone's talking about us being jobbers, but we still have a little money. We're able to fly first class on Delta Airlines. and they just are walking through the airport and just showing you their trip. Like they are just hilarious. And it's like I also don't want to see. I know it sounds crazy. But I don't want to see this come to an end just yet. This whole thing of them being jobbers has just been so hilarious. It has been so good at the same time. Like I said, everything up until the bell goes ding 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 with the Young Bucks is just great comedy. And then once the bell rings, the show starts, and those boys are bad. And they show it every single week and every single time they enter the ring. It's just a pleasure. Like I said, I enjoy this stuff. This whole thing with them in catering with jobbers like that. That is just hilarious. And I don't know. I'm not ready to see them go back. I'm not ready to see them be like the big time Bucks again. Like I want them to just kind of they are literally taking something that should just be like frowned upon in wrestling and making it like the coolest thing ever. I don't know how else to say it. Like normally we get jobbers, you don't know their name, they get bad entrances, like all the things, all of that's happening to them, and they are still just killing it. They are killing it. So yeah, they got to keep this going just for a little bit longer.
Yeah, man. I love it, man. This is I feel that. I definitely yeah. Oh man. No, I feel you. I feel you. All right, let's go ahead and talk about this segment real quick, man. Let's talk about this tag team match, man. Mercedes and Ema Sakura going up against Alex Windsor and Reed. Oh man, and this was great, man. This was a banger. I mean, how many times do we talk about Mercedes Moné regardless? Okay, that's the CEO. This match was a banger. I loved everything about this, man. You know, they're telling the story with Alex Windsor. They're telling the story with Riho. Honestly, with this whole thing with, them and Mercedes Moné, man, I'm not going to lie, man. I don't want to see Mercedes lose a damn title. But if anybody takes one off of her, and I would not be upset about it, it'd be Riho. But I love what they're doing. Love seeing Alex Windsor. She's killing it. I think she's doing great work every time I see her in the ring. But yeah, man, Mercedes. Granted, capped. Who cares? That's still the CEO.
No.
Heartbreak Chris, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
I think you summed it up perfectly. It was a great match. These ladies, they killed it. I like how this is really making Riho look good, look strong going into this match, the TBS title. And Mercedes is what, 9 belts Moné right now, and it's insane. It's just diabolical that this lady is just the belt collector, and it's insane. It's like she's only missing one. She's missing the main one. That's the AEW Women's title, and we already know what happened with that. But I don't know. Like, part of me feels like they're going to finish this story, and she's going to collect the AEW Women's title and have all 10. She's going to be the Decimo for those who know about the anime Reborn. But yeah, I feel like that's the way they're gonna go. But at the same time, there is something to this to Riho coming back. There is something to Riho being the first AEW champion. There is something to, hey, it's probably about time for her to start losing some of these titles. Maybe. So I'm really interested to see how this shapes up with Mercedes Moné. I know the entrance at the pay-per-view is going to be fire, because every time she has one of these entrances at these PLEs or pay-per-views, man, she has, like, one time she had the cheerleaders. They all had a belt on. Like, the lady has so many belts. Like, each cheerleader was able to have a belt, and then when they were up in Europe, each of, like, the guardsmen or whatever you want to call it, they all had a belt coming in. Like, it's just insane. But yeah, I thought this match itself was great. It was good seeing that, hey, Mercedes can be beat, and seeing her tap, so yeah, I like I said, going into this, I'm really starting to try to convince myself maybe that, hey, maybe this is the time that Riho might actually take this TBS title from her, and we might start to see her spiral. it's a possibility.
The possibility, big possibility. Not saying we want it to happen, but it's a big possibility. But let's go ahead and talk about this next segment, man. Because I mean, we're gonna keep talking about some fire. Come on, Ricochet. Come on, man. You know, he challenges that man, Shelton Benjamin, and of course, that led to the match with him and Shelton Benjamin. I mean, come on, Ricochet. You're killing it, bruh. I'm proud of you, bruh. Look. This is good. This is good. I mean, the story you told last week. Okay, he was telling everybody, look, that the story with your situation with you and the Hurt Syndicate was far before AEW. I said, you cooking now. And I just felt like, I mean, I felt ever since he's went to AEW, this man has been on another level killing it. We know how he kills it in the ring, but the character work off of this man has been superb, and I'm proud of him. That man, Bishop Khan, and my other man over there, man, these three light-skinned brothers is killing it right now. Y'all are doing your damnedest good job, man. I love it. I love it. Love the story that they're telling. I love everything that Ricochet has been doing. The look, the suit. I'm like, man, look, y'all killing it. I don't give a damn if you're bald or not, Ricochet. You are still killing it. You and Taz both, because we all seen how y'all fist bumped. So yeah, that looked a little sus. Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Yeah, we talked about this last week, man. Ricochet it's like he's been let off of a leash, and he's actually doing, I think we said this last week. I can't remember, but we talked about like Ricochet when when he was with WWE, his promos. We used to always talk about like his promo work it's not that great, and especially when he was trying to be heel. But in AEW, for some reason, is working for him, and I don't know if he's just been let off a leash and they kind of giving him a little bit more free reign. But he has been killing it, and I really like what they're doing. I like the story that they're telling, because it kind of has those layers of like, hey, I remember when y'all were when we were all with WWE, y'all were the Hurt Business, and y'all denied me entrance into the Hurt Business. Now you come here as the Hurt Syndicate. I still have that beef, that vendetta that is carried over. And the fact that he tried to take on Shelton Benjamin by himself, talking about he's going to leave his guys behind and Shelton's got to leave his guys behind. It's going to be him and Shelton in the middle of the ring. And, he was going to do whatever. Man, get out of here. And the match was fire, though. The match was fire. I loved it. Of course, Ricochet always does great. Always has some spectacular stunts and things that he can pull off in the middle of a ring. Shelton Benjamin, the whole entire time, the crowd is chanting, "We heard people, we heard people." Like it's just, it was good. It was just a good match between them. Shelton looked strong, Ricochet looked strong, but of course, it all fell apart because each faction's guys came out there and they went for a brawl, and even saying MVP getting in on some action. No, MVP was trying to go to work with the cane. my man did some karate flip using his cane. And look at MVP out here. But yeah, I love this. I love what they have going on right here. I am really interested and excited for this match here because I think just what it means, because we've seen the Hurt Syndicate just look so strong. And then recently they lost the titles. They had the titles 8-9 months. I mean they were cleaning house in AEW. But Ricochet and them are on the rise, and I'm interested to see if this is one of these matches where Ricochet can actually go over and kind of give him a little bit more, a little bit more credibility. That whole faction, that the whole group, the vibe, everything. So I'm really interested. I got my eyes on this because I feel like it would hurt Ricochet and them more if they took the L. But yeah, I mean, what they've been doing, the work between the two groups, I'm loving it. The beef, it feels real. It feels like there's some animosity there, and they're just killing it, man. They're doing a good job.
Yeah, man, this is truly long-term storytelling right here. I mean, they're killing this, man. Going to talk about
real quick, how could you not? How when I think back on it? Well, I mean, look, I know it's different. Whatever. But how would you not want Ricochet in the group? Like, how,
That would be to me. I just thought that was the craziest dynamic of him being in it. Like you got one dude that's hella strong, you got
yep,
one dude that's athletic.
athletic.
You got MVP to talk. Why not
Yep.
have the high flyer? This
Why
is
not have a high flyer?
just
Hey.
doing flips on people. Just
Yeah. But I that's why I like the fact that they have crossed the lines of like taking a story from a different promotion from WWE, but letting it bleed over into AEW. And I also want to say they did something like that a little bit earlier in the night too, when they talked about Edge and Christian and their how many title wins they've had and held. Like they included the WWE stuff, and kind of brought that over into like their legitimacy as a tag team. And so I feel like, and I think I said this last week too, like I feel like it makes more sense because we're all wrestling fans. We're not ignorant. We're not doofuses, whatever you want to say. We know like Ricochet and them came from came from WWE. It's okay to say it. This is time it's like almost like a Voldemort thing. He who will not be named. You can't say his name, that type of thing. Like just we know. Like just come on. So I like how they have kind of been bleeding that stuff over. Like slowly but slowly they've been saying it, and it's just good to see how they are kind of building stories around stuff that didn't even happen in their promotion.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes the stories even more, because then it'll make the person or the watcher be like, damn, now I might have to go back to see what was going on then. Then when you go back and you watch it and you go to now, it's like, man,
yeah,
greatness, cinema.
Yeah.
Oh man, let's go kick it into this. Man, this was hilarious. Look, I love Harley Cameron, man. I really do. First of all, Willow, I tell you this every time. I ain't gonna keep telling you this because you already know it. You're from Long Island, so you're automatically great. That being said, I get it. Get it. You don't trust Chris Statlander. Get it. Look, Harley Cameron, okay, come out there with a whole song. She asked Willow, what key you want me to sing? She said G. She said, C major it is. I think, yo, Harley is hilarious. Man, that girl, I don't care what nobody says. Harley Cameron, honestly, next to Toni Storm, probably one of the most entertaining women I love to watch on the screen, man. I mean, she is just full package, man. She can just make you laugh, get serious, get the crowd hype. I mean, she's so entertaining, man. I think, you know what? I think closest comparison, I'm not even gonna say with Toni Storm. I think when it comes to maximizing minutes, definitely kind of showing how entertaining or how they really get the crowd over. I would say I would compare Harley Cameron to Chelsea Green. Honestly, I think they're in that same
That's
class.
fair.
I think they really are. I think when it comes to Harley, I just feel like every time I just don't feel like there's a time when I'm never like, damn, Harley's killing it. I have always said that. Like that woman keeps me in it. Like I genuinely enjoy seeing her on there, man. But yeah, I loved it. She's trying to sit there and tell Will, hey, join our team. We're undefeated. Granted, they only won one match, so it's it's just funny how she keeps saying it. But Willow's like, nah, I'm not. I don't. Hey, I would join the team if you had a different partner. I said, damn, I feel that. I feel that. Telling the story again. But I loved everything about it. Harley Cameron, again, you're killing it. Keep doing what you're doing because honestly, you and that puppet, if you bring that puppet back, hey, you got me again. But anytime you got a guitar, I know you about to do way better than we would know my man Elias. Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Yeah, I don't really have much to add to this. This was just a good little segment that they had. She got to, Harley got to do her thing, show her talent, be entertainment, and like you said it best, she got to maximize the minutes that she that she has on camera, and she did it, and she did it well. I love Willow being a part of this because every time I see Willow, I automatically think about her intro music, which is always a bop. I just like the vibe of it. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I love little segments like this where, wrestlers can be entertaining like this and be goofy. And that's why we are big fans of Chelsea Green and what she does, is because she just knows how to like you said, she may not have to be in the ring and she may not get a lot of time actually in the ring wrestling, but when the minutes that they give her on the backstage segments, the little things that she says and come up with, the slogans, the secret harvest, the terrace on mediocrity, things of that nature, always have loved. And so you have something like that, not saying it's the exact same, but similar to that here with Harley. And I think she's great. And I think she does a great job at it. I mean, last week she was hissing like a cat. I mean, this week she's playing a daggone violin or guitar. I'm sorry. It's just, I mean, she's dope, man. It's just a good segment, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, really good. I love to see Willow, calling out Marina Shafir. And I ain't gonna lie, Willow been throwing hands with Marina for a few weeks now. So I'm interested to see how they do with that. Honestly, and I've been saying the same thing with Marina. Marina Shafir is another one. I don't know what it is about that woman, but she's got an aura that's just unmatched. I think a few weeks ago, I seen this woman doing I think it was neck up, smoking a cig. I said, damn, Marina, this is what Roger Strong's into? I get it. Some stuff you just can't explain. And I'm gonna let you have that, Roddy. That's all you right there. Well, let's go ahead and go to this next segment. I mean, this match was a banger. Okay. Timeless Tony Storm going up against Scott Blue. And this was great. Okay. This was a great, hard-hitting, hardcore type match. Love what they did. What I thought was interesting, though. First of all, with Tony Storm coming out, they were calling her San Tony. Okay, she came out banging the can like Sandman. If y'all know from the ECW days, classic. Okay, definitely shows Tony's age. Okay, doing the Sandman entrance. I mean, I loved everything about it. What was interesting, though, of course, Sky Blue's in that little group with her, Tekla, and Julia Hart. Tekla with the attack, beating the hell out of Tony. Now Tekla's the next one up, and I'm all for it. See, now this is what we was talking about for the last few weeks. How we were saying the women's division in AEW is definitely cooking up some greatness. Okay, and what I'm loving to see right now, we see that the opponents that are coming for Tony Storm. We had said this before. We was like, well, who the hell is going to face Tony Storm if Mercedes Moné really loses? And we've seen some people come up, and it's been some good contenders. We've been seeing Athena came up, okay, did her thing. Now we got Tekla, and I'd really like to see what happens with her and Tekla. This is going to be, because, they've been kind of pushing Tekla for a good little minute now, show some momentum, got the group. First of all, this is the first 3-woman faction I haven't seen in AEW in a little minute. So this is good. Hey, I love this, though. I love everything about this. I love what Tony's doing. Tony, of course, you're always killing it. You are the wide load with all the gold. All right, Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Hey, that Tony Storm, that's my girl, man. That wide load that holds the gold. That is just diabolical, boy. I love that lady. I thought this was great. Tony Storm is great at putting on a show. Like you talked about her coming out and just imitating the Sandman. She even had the ECW on the kendo stick. She is just a great performer, and she just you're going to get your money's worth just when she's around, when she's involved. And this match, just fire. I love these women going at it. The highlights of that match to me was the stapler gun to the crotch.
Yeah.
I mean, and then she took two. And then she took two to the chest. I said, "Oh my god!" Like they were going at it. They were killing it. And it just delivered. The mouse traps, the slam being slammed into the table with the mouse trap, the finger in the mouse trap. These ladies went for it. They did it. They delivered. Tony Storm just continues to show why she is timeless, why she is one of the greatest female wrestlers and entertainers. Let's just say whatever, entertainers in the business today. And you can't go wrong with a Tony Storm and a Tony Storm match. But this is big for Tekla, to put her in this position, especially talking about being able to go against Tony Storm here coming up. That's good. That's huge for her because as far as I'm concerned, her Tekla and Queen Aminata still need to finish their beef. But
Yes, sir.
But this is good for Tekla. She's the next lady up. We're gonna see what happens with that. Sky Blue, though, I want to give her credit in this match tonight. She was phenomenal. She did a great job. She held her own. She went toe to toe with Tony Storm. She came up short. I mean, it's Tony Storm. It's timeless Tony Storm. So what can you say? That is the wide load that holds the gold. That's my girl, man. And but yeah, shout out to them. They did a great job with that match, and it delivered. And we're gonna see what happens with Tekla for sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they doing something with Tekla, man. I like it, man. But the people like it too. A lot of people really love Tekla. I think it's really that. I think it's that little thing she be doing. The whole
contorting herself.
I think that thing got everybody. I think when she did that, it was like, oh, damn, what the? Hey, Tekla, you're killing it. Well, let's talk about this next segment, man. Man, look at this, man. Come on. These men come out. Damn, they look like mug shots for the pictures. They got their whole action. Look at this. Matthew, Ron John Maxey, Nicholas Lee Massey. This is insane. I mean, okay, this is the main event. Okay, we had the Bucks and the Teflon going up get the Ops and Bandito. And honestly, I just had to get this. I just felt like we've been talking about the Bucks for so long. We've been talking about the entrances. We talked about them being at the Jobbers catering. I was like, nah, we gotta get this. I mean, come on. Look at this. This is good stuff. I mean, honestly, I feel like every week there's some bit of progress for their entrances.
Yeah.
Whether if the power ain't working, the screen won't come up. Okay. Nobody wants to announce them. The graphics just tell them as default. The graphics are different names. Hey, this is a better week for the Bucks.
Or they come out to Hanson. That was diabolical.
Hilarious, man. Look, they're doing everything with the Bucks, and this was great. But we gotta talk about the match with them because it wouldn't be the damn Bucks if they didn't go crazy. First of all, solidifying the W. Okay, you know how it comes when what happens when it comes to the Bucks. Getting the dub, actually being the ones to pin Bandito. Okay, says a lot. Now look, we already talked about how the Bucks still trying to figure it out, still trying to get there. But it wouldn't be the damn Bucks if they didn't damn near have the AEW tag team titles. Now, I don't want to see them with the titles yet because I really love to see the Jobbers' journey of the Bucks. I don't want to end this train we got going. I do not want to stop this. I do not. I love seeing the Jobbers' journey between the Bucks. Keep it going. Hell, I'll be okay if somehow, some way, they somehow lose this title opportunity. Or even if they lost the match, it's still got to find a way to get to those tag titles. I don't give a damn. Keep the Bucks as Jobbers for right now because their journey and their climb to becoming the EVPs again is going to be a long one. Pause. But I can't wait to see it. But let's go ahead and talk about this match first. Heartbreak Prince, I want to get your thoughts, see what you think before we talk about the main thing that happened at the end of Dynamite. So what's your thoughts? What you think about this last match right here?
Yeah, I thought this match was great. It was fire. The Bucks, man, I continue to say, and the bell goes ding, ding, ding. They are legit, man. It's just, I always feel slightly disrespectful to like tag teams in the past. We always keep saying like the Bucks are like the greatest tag teams. I'm sure there's people out there like, what about, the Hart Foundation, or what about, like all, you can come up with a bunch of tag teams, but it's just, to me, the style of the Bucks I just feel competes with like any of these eras. The way they wrestle, the how in sync they are, the synchronization that they have, like it's just
the psychology of it.
Yes, it's like it's like old school tag team wrestling, how good they are and how every move leads to the other one being able to do something. And it's just, I don't know how they do it, man. It's great. And you can only explain it from just years of practice, being together. They're brothers, for crying out loud. So yeah, I mean, but I say, like, you want to put them against, the Marty Jannetty's or the Hart Foundations or Edge and Christians, or like, I just feel like they could go with any era.
Anybody.
And just, it would be just a banger, and nothing different here. Just on a typical random regular old AEW Dynamite show on a Wednesday night, they are out here just delivering. And also the Bucks just might be up, because this match had a little bit of a stipulation to it, and it was about $500,000. And so the Bucks went from flying first class on Delta to might be right back in to the EVPC, and they're either that or working their way to it, because this was big for the Bucks. I love it. I still hope that we have a few more weeks of them being jobbers, just a little bit longer. But this match was a banger. The fact that they got the pin, Brodito, phenomenal. Just great match to end the night. Like I said, anytime the Bucks are taking the ring, I'm always happy and excited to watch
it. Yeah, man. Greatness out of these guys, man. Hey, who knows, that 500,000 can really change y'all lives for real. Maybe y'all can get another limo. Swerve broke the last one. Maybe I'll get y'all new one and get that slow climb.
Yeah, because at least last week they had him out there taking pictures with people for $20. That's how they were making money. That they are messed up, man. The stuff they're doing is hilarious.
And it's so funny because it reminds me of when I was in New Orleans for WrestleMania in 2019, and we went to WrestleCon, and the Bucks were there, and it costs about $20-$40 to take a picture with them. So that's what I'm like, yo, that's crazy. They really, it's the small things.
It's small
them,
things.
Man.
It is. It's the small little things that is just making this so great.
Yeah, man. They're telling you those callbacks to really kind of. I almost said what I said last week. I almost messed up, boy. Just the things to kind of make you think about, just the history of the Pacific. But speaking of history, let's talk about this end segment of the man. Look, after the match was done, you know how it is with Darby and the Death Riders. Didn't give a damn. Okay, comes in, tries to start the attack on John Mox. Then all of a sudden, everybody said, well, what the hell is going on? Who is this in the black hood? Daniel Garcia joins the Death Riders. I couldn't believe this. I really couldn't. But I actually like this. It came in, started to beat the hell out of Darby. Everybody's still in shock. He takes Darby's face, I mean, for real, and slammed it into that steel chair, man. And this is the finish right here. Man, this was a shocker. I think a lot of people didn't see this coming. Hell, I didn't see this coming. To be honest, if anybody's gonna be joining the Death Riders, I would have thought, hey, Chris Statlander makes sense. Hey, Will Yuta, not gonna lie, bro. Your aura's still at a -0. Daniel Garcia's aura's up there. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if, the music going, he just slowly. People will still bang with it. I mean, this is Daniel Garcia we're talking about. Hey, Will, maybe you can get some aura from Daniel Garcia. This is good. I loved it, man. I loved it. Telling the story, now adding a new member. Well, I guess it makes sense because we haven't seen Pac in a long time. We know, Brian Daniels ain't there no more, so he's kind of doing commentary, which is good for him. He's killing it, by the way. But yeah, this was great, man. I'd love to see how new dynamic, new person, and the crowd calling Daniel Garcia a sellout, saying you sold out. Man, I loved everything about this, and I can't wait to see what Daniel Garcia is going to say, probably on Collision or on Dynamite next week. Man, look again, they killed it with this whole show, but specifically ending it off with that kind of a banger, with that kind of a jaw dropper pause. Man, Tony, you killed it. Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Yeah, this was legit good, like a legit surprise. I'm still like, but why? Like why? That's a good thing. It's a good thing. It really is. And I'm sure at some point we're gonna get the answer, get the reason why, whatever. But it's also one of those things like this is good for the Death Riders. This because we talked before about like, okay, so John Moxley, he's got the title belt. It's in a briefcase. He's talking about how he's trying to change this whole industry, the whole thing. And like, okay, so he has this match with Adam Hangman Page. He loses the title. What's next? What does this mean for the Death Riders? And the Death Riders are still going strong. They're still booking them strong. And now you add Daniel Garcia to this. And it's like, yo, this is dope. It's dope because also it gives Daniel Garcia a place, like because I've been wondering, like we last time we saw was a couple weeks ago when he returned or whatever, and it was like, all right, but where does he fit in the picture of all the different stories that they have going on now? And I believe his return, he faced John Moxley in his return,
Yep.
and so it's kind of one of those things of like, okay, so did something in that match, click for Daniel Garcia where he felt like this is the route he needed to go, because Moxley put a hurting on him. He beat him. And so now, if you can't beat him, join him, right?
Join
And
him,
so
yeah.
it seems like this is what happened. And then the way Moxley was talking to him and direct him, it was just still crazy because it's like, y'all were just feuding, and now Daniel Garcia is part of this clique. The Death Riders are still looking strong, and I just like what it means for like the overall story. I like what it means for for the group, as far as the Death Riders themselves, and why Darby Allin specifically. Is it just because he's been beefing with the Death Riders or beefing with John Moxley, or is there something between Darby Allin and Daniel Garcia that's brewing as well? So it's like it's I got questions, I need answers, but this is the way the show ended. And I always like stuff like this because it gets the brain going, and then you're waiting for like next week to find out like, all right, what's the deal here? What's happening? Why? Because that's what the fans want to know. Everybody's booing. Great way to end the show. Tony Khan killed like he's been doing his thing. I keep saying the staff, the writers, the wrestlers, like everybody has just been executing the plays at such a high level, and it's just been great and entertaining programs week after week after week. And just something I thought about tonight while I was watching AEW Dynamite, and I said to myself, like, as I'm watching the Adam Hangman Page match, it came to me like, hey, look, this feels like wrestling. Like, I don't want to take anything away. I'm not trying to say WWE product is bad or like bash anything like that. When I'm watching AEW, I feel like I'm watching wrestling. When I'm watching WWE's product, I feel like I'm watching a well manufactured product. Like it's clean in every aspect. And so it's like it's a different vibe, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But it's just sometimes I feel like through that lens of just being so clean and so manufactured, the wrestling is kind of lost and is a little stale in a way, or whatever. Versus AEW is not as clean. It's not as manufactured, but the wrestling and the way they go about it is just like, this is dope. Like I can really kind of bang with this right here, and I enjoy it. And like I said, it's just the vibe between those two, and I know it's like a big war or whatever you want to say between like, AEW, WWE, WWE wants to choke AEW out. There's fans that don't want AEW to exist and all that. That's either here. I just feel like it's great that we have both of these products, and not just the differences between them when you're watching them. It's like you can just see it, and it's just crazy. But that's how I felt tonight when I was watching. I said, this is not as clean, but the wrestling is just top notch. Like you can just tell that the wrestlers themselves have like this freedom to kind of express themselves. And I think that's what really gets them over with the crowds. Because yes, it is, you can say AEW is very spot heavy. Like they do a lot of wrestling spots, but I always think that's still spectacular because it shows some of the athleticism and some of the things that these wrestlers are capable of doing. And so I've been thoroughly like entertained by AEW all year. And, I've just been waiting for that shoe to drop of like, this bad episode, and they just keep it coming, and they just keep just weaving these stories together so well that it's just like, that's good, that's dope how they did a callback to this, that's dope how that callback caused this match that be put forth for this pay-per-view, and that outcome is great, but then it led to this story, and it's like, this is dope. They have just been killing it. I don't know who's doing all of their creative stuff, their writing and all that, but they deserve like their flowers because they have really been doing a bang up job this year with delivering not only on their weekly television show, but also at their pay-per-views.
Come on now. That's what I'm talking about. And I 100% agree with you. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think that is the reason why I really love watching AEW right now. I think that's kind of really been the thing since last year. I feel like we've been getting good stuff out of them, and it's just been like, okay. Like I feel like last year we wasn't seeing it all the way, but they were kind of putting the pieces to the puzzle like there. And then I feel like now that we're seeing, and this is like, man, they're hitting it on the mark every week, whether it's Collision, Dynamite, a pay-per-view, they're knocking it out of the park. And I think again, just like you said, man, they're doing great work. They're staying in their own lane. They're kind of really sticking to their own thing. And and just like you said, man, it's an alternative. And I think that's the difference about it. This is why I say all the time, y'all shouldn't be wanting to see a company go away. It's good we have different alternatives. There's nothing wrong with that. Why? Because now you see different forms and different types of pro wrestling. It's a great thing to see. And I think what AEW is doing, they've been showing that. And I think right now, low key, really want to talk. I think right now AEW is in their attitude era.
Yeah.
I really do. I think when we look at the characters, who they got, who's there, the wrestlers that are there, who's showing up every week, who's making a story every week. Like these people are stars. These are regular household names. When you see somebody like a Darby Allin going crazy on the Death Riders, notice I just said two. I named a single and a group. If I said that to anybody, they'd go crazy right now. You talk about somebody like a Timeless Tony Storm or a Tekla or MJF, or Adam Hangman Page, or the Young Bucks. Okay? A Mercedes Moné. Hell, Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega right now, they're sitting there trying to get their bodies right. Yeah. But it's okay that they're away because there's other rising stars that are still holding it down for the rest of the company. And that's what you want. Okay? That's what you build on. That's what I love what they're doing. They're not just saying, no, we need to have Kenny back. We got to have Will. No. They can still thrive without them being there right now and still tell stories. You got somebody like a Swerve Strickland. You got somebody like a Ricochet, the Hurt Syndicate. All these people are literally making stories right now. Edge and Christian's going crazy. Come on. You can't tell me none of these people right now aren't doing great work.
FTR,
come on. With Big Stoke. Come on,
Big Stoke is hilarious.
He's doing work right now. You can't sit there and tell me, oh, this ain't good. And if you sitting there telling me that, you immediately either lying or you just don't want to see it a different way. And if that's the case, fine. You ain't got to watch it, but don't sit there and talk and act like what's going on in this product isn't good stuff. Y'all can't do that, man. I can't wait for All Out. Again, this is great stuff. Get to see it on HBO Max. This is amazing. Okay, we get a discount. You subscribe to HBO Max, you get a discount on it. Yes. And then we still see all the pay-per-views that happened for the last previous years. I love it, man. I love it. I love what AEW's doing. I want them to keep going. I want to see them keep thriving. And I love the competition, man. I like it. Do I like some of the stuff that, I don't like all the tactics that, that I see WWE do sometimes? No, I wish they would kind of just stick to doing their own thing and focus on them and just let AEW. Because if everybody just focus on doing their own damn thing, everybody can thrive on their own. But everybody looking at everybody else's business, that's where we need to stop. And that's why I love AEW, because at least right now, they're focused on themselves, they're working on themselves, and it's looking good. And again, I love WWE too, don't get me wrong. But I like what AEW's doing right now. I think that they're doing everything right. I can't you can't sit here and watch an episode and be like, oh, this wasn't good. No. And we even hear other people talk about Dynamite. They will say this is good. Now, if you got people that just want to automatically hate and do, that's cool. You can do that. But the real ones, the real wrestling fans know that what AEW's putting out the product right now, let's go, man. Let's go. That's all it is, and that's all it's ever gonna be. No,
yeah, and I was going to say, and the thing is, the next closest thing to me to that, like that AEW feel is NXT, and I know WWE puts NXT against AEW all the time. But when I'm watching NXT, I always feel like I'm watching just a phenomenal show, just a great show, and it's wrestling, and it's a lot. It's wrestling, and maybe it's because it is it maybe because it isn't as polished per se as a Raw or as a SmackDown, where you got everything branded, everything's just pristine. It's different, and I think I've something about that vibe. I think is what makes it more entertaining. Because to me the product is not like it just doesn't feel as manufactured. I don't know how to say it, but yeah, it's a vibe.
It feels more organic. It feels more organic.
There we go. Yeah, and I've enjoyed it. But like I said, they've been doing it. The AEW's been doing great. Like I said, WWE, they've been doing their thing. Definitely NXT. I love NXT. And so yeah, it's good stuff. Good show tonight.
Good show
tonight for AEW.
Amazing night, man. But as always, please make sure y'all follow all of our social media. I tell y'all this all the time. I ain't got to tell you too many times. Come on now. Facebook, we on that. X, we on that. Instagram, we on that. TikTok, we're on that as well. And of course, as always, we appreciate the love, the support, and everything you guys have been doing for us, man. Shout out to OVW. Shout out to my man Christopher Hills for Light. Shout out to my man J Movie Mania. Shout out to Big Rob, the photographer, showing that support. Shout out to my man Aegis from TikTok as well, from Evolve. Hey, man, we really just appreciate the love and support you guys been showing us. But make sure y'all keep liking and subscribing so we keep giving y'all that content the exclusive way. Come on, man. Y'all already know what this is, man. Man. But, we talked about some of these great things happening when, Adam Hangman Page, the Death Riders, Darby Allin, MJF, the Hurt Syndicate, Ricochet, Timeless Tony Storm, Tekla, okay, the Young Bucks, and of course that man, Danny Garcia. Oh, man. And we talked about a lot of these great things that happened today, man. And honestly, this was just a great show that we unpacked, had a blast talking about it. And of course, as we always talk about, smiles constantly on the face when we watch AEW Dynamite, man. And this was good, man. This was a great show. But as always, I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. And we got the one man and the only man that's going to check you into the Heartbreak Hotel. And that's the Heartbreak Prince himself. Because we are the exclusive Knights, and we always ensure that we are the best there is,
the best there was,
and the best that ever will be. And to ensure that your nights will never
be the same.
Peace. Y'all be good.